Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayat Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopkumārāya Govindāya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Welcome everybody. So, okay, we are going to start the 8th chapter of 4th canto, which is the pastimes of Dhruva Mahārāja. So, this is a very, very interesting pastime, very, very interesting story from Srimad Bhagavatam, especially for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was whenever somebody narrates, he regularly hears Srimad Bhagavatam, but when he is hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, when he comes to the pastime of Dhruva Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj, he used to say, repeat it one more time, repeat it one more time. Like that, he used to hear 100 times continuously. The same pastime 100 times continuously, and then they used to proceed further. So such an affection, such a love a Lord has for his devotees. So, so now here, this is the part of discussion between Vidura and Maitreya. So Vidura, Maitreya Rishi is again still explaining about the glories of Lord to Vidura, and he now in the process of creation, how the creation came up, how the lokas were populated by different descendants of Brahma. He explained about first the sons of Brahma, and then from the sons of Brahma, he went to describe about the Swayambhu Manu, and Swayambhu Manu's daughters, Devahuti, Prasuti, and Akuti, and first he described about the daughters of Swayambhu Manu. Swayambhu Manu has 3 daughters, Devahuti, Akuti, and Prasuti. So Devahuti was the son. Devahuti was married to Kardamuni, and Lord Kapila was born, and Lord Kapila's instructions were elaborately described in 3rd canto. And Prasuti was married to, Akuti was married to, Akuti was married to just a minute, let me refer. Akuti married to Akuti was married to a sage who actually meditated on 3 murtis. Just go, okay. And then Akuti plus Prajapati Ruchi gave to so Atri Muni, sorry. So Atri Muni and Akuti, and then Devahuti, Prasuti was married to Daksha. So when Prasuti was married to Daksha, Daksha had many daughters. One among the daughters was Sati Devi, and Vidura asked about how Sati Devi, why Sati Devi had performed, like gave up her body, and for that we elaborately went through the story of Daksha Yajna, how Daksha offended Lord Shiva, and then Lord Shiva created Virabhadra, and Virabhadra comes and kills Daksha, and again out of compassion of Lord Shiva, everybody was revived, and Daksha was given a goat head, and he finishes the sacrifice with the goat head. Okay, and then after describing the lineage of the daughters of Swayambhu Manu, now he goes to the sons of Swayambhu. Swayambhu Manu has two sons, Uttanapada and Priyavrata. So Priyavrata was the eldest son and Uttanapada younger son. So, but Priyavrata, like see, if you see, in those days, many of them used to be Naistika Brahmacharis. If you see, many sons of Brahma, including Kumaras, Narada, Rubu, Hamsa, Aruni, and Yati, they did not get married. And they became Naistika Brahmacharis. So, Priyavrata also, upon receiving the education, he realized the uh, temporariness and the purpose of life, temporariness of this material world, and he realized what is the goal of life. And then he felt like getting married and entering into Grahastha ashram is a distraction, and he decided to remain as a brahmachari. And he went into forest and started performing severe tapasya, and he became the disciple of Narada Muni. And then another son, Uttanapada. Uttanapada was when Swayambhuvan was still there. Uttanapada, what he did, he chose a very suitable wife for his son. Her name is Suniti. And he married Suniti to Uttanapada. And they had, and then after that, Swayambhu retired and then left off. After Swayambhu left, uh, Uttanapada, he got out of his affection, he married Suruchi. Suruchi is the younger wife of Uttanapada. So before going to that pastime, like now, before actually Maitreya Rishi also, first he explains about Priyavrata Muni, Priyavrata, and then immediately he just said the name of Priyavrata and directly goes to the pastime of Dhruva Mahārāja. And before going that, he also mentions about the lineage. See, right now, the lineage is from Brahma's son is Swayambhu Manu. Swayambhu Manu's sons are sons and daughters are so and so. That is one lineage. That is dharmic lineage. But from Brahmaji, there is another lineage. Brahmaji had a son called Adharma, irreligion, and Brisha, son and daughter. So, and this adharmic, this is the path of adharma, okay? And both, the adharma and Brisha are brother and sister because they are coming from Brahmaji. So, but they both get married, brother and sister get married, and give rise to Damba and Maya, bluffing and illusion. And they both get married and give birth to Lobha and Nikriti, the greed and cunning. Okay, they both get married and then give rise to Krodha and Himsa, anger and violence. So they both get married and give rise to Kali and the Durukti. Kali means the quarrel, and Durukti means hard speech. They both get married and give rise to Mrityu and Bhiti, death and fear. And then they both get married and give to Yatana and Niraya, the excessive pain and hell. So these are the lineage of Adharma. So if we give this kind of terms, if we give this kind of lineage to some so-called scholars, they'll say, oh, this doesn't actually represent the sons and daughters. They represent the ideologies, because irreligion and falsity will give rise to bluffing and cheating, and bluffing and cheating will give rise to greed and cunning, and greed and cunning will rise to anger and envy. Anger and envy combined lead to quarrel and hard speech, and the quarrel and hard speech will lead to death and fear, and death and fear lead to excess pain and hell. So, but the problem is, whenever any child takes birth, the astrologers and their ancestors and the gurus and the priests in that age, they were able to see, they were able to identify the nature of the child. They were able to see his future, what is they are going to achieve, and uh, and uh, and basically, if you see, like in the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, we had read when Parishit Maharaj takes birth, and the astrologers and the priests, they calculate entire life of Parishit Maharaj. They narrate entire life of Parishit Maharaj to Yudhishthira Maharaj, and they actually narrate that how he will die also, because he will get curse from Brahmana and then he will die like that. Hmm? So they explain about how heroic he will be, how much how dharmic and what kind of devotion he will exhibit, and they are able to predict everything with clear details. So that was their capacity. So when any child takes birth, they immediately sees their nature, sees their future, and then they name accordingly. It's not like they are some represent something like that. Yes, of course, that can be taken. That also that is secondary. If we do, and if you actually just take these names as some what do you call, representations or allegories, then we lose the trust or faith in the scriptures. Mm. So basically, if you see even the Kurukshetra war also, many of the scholars they said no, Kurukshetra didn't happen at all. It only represents five Pandavas or five senses, and Krishna is Paramatma, and Arjuna is like a soul. No? Yes, that lessons can be drawn, but without rejecting or without uh, neglecting the actual pastimes, because uh, we have father and mother. Like for example, any child is staying away from the family, the child will be taken care by the family. Child will be like supported by father and mother, what the child needs, and everything is nicely arranged to the child. Huh? But if the child thinks, oh, everything is arranged automatically, and whoever is the deliverer, like for example, father and mother appoint a person, like no, some relative, some or some um, or some boarding school teacher or somebody, and fulfills the desires of the child through him, it doesn't mean that he is actually fulfilling the desires of the child. Actually, father and mother, out of their love, arranged everything. In the same way, when Lord appears also, when Lord devotees appears also, the pastimes, especially in Srimad Bhagavatam, one can achieve the ultimate perfection of human form of life, of achieving God realization just by following Srimad Bhagavatam. In the second verse of Srimad Bhagavatam says, right? Just there is no other scriptures, there is no other practice necessary. I mean, like whatever you just practice, of course, we have to do the sadhana and the spiritual practice. Means acharan also required. But this one scripture is enough for you to achieve the God realization. Then what else we require? If we are able to achieve God realization and self-realization just by following Srimad Bhagavatam as it is, then what else we require? That is the purpose of human form of life. Hmm? And rest of all, whatever we may achieve or we may not achieve are irrelevant. Our main goal of human form of life is to achieve self-realization, or go back to Godhead, or achieve or attain our real Swarupa. And just by following the instructions of Srimad Bhagavatam, just by following our sadhana and seva or swadhyaya and all those things, if we are able to achieve, then we don't need anything else. So I'm just elaborating on this so that we should have the confidence on Srimad Bhagavatam also. So after explaining this, the lineage of Adharma, he said, one who hears this description 3 times, they attain piety and washes off all the sinful contamination. So one may get the doubt, how can, just by hearing this adharmic lineage, how can one become wash of all this contamination? Is just by hearing all these characteristics and um, uh, all the lineage, one will be very careful what is religion, and they will keep the religion away from us, away from them, away from themselves. So by keeping religion away, one will be able to uh, wash off all the sinful contamination and attain piety. Okay. So after explaining all this adharmic lineage, then Maitreya Rishi proceeds to explaining about the pastime of Dhruva Maharaj. So Dhruva Maharaj and Suruchi, Dhruva Maharaj was son of Suniti, and Uttama, I'm not sure it's Uttama, okay. Yeah, maybe, okay. So Uttama was the son of Suruchi, okay. So they both are of closer age, means like Dhruva Maharaj when he was 5 years old, Uttama was little younger, okay. Little means a few months or so, and both were very good friends. Both the just a minute, let me confirm because as of our Srimad Bhagavatam edition, we didn't get the. Yeah. So yeah, brother of Dhruva Maharaj's name is Uttama only. Okay. So they both were good. They both were children. Like see, even children, they don't have any ego. They don't have. They are fully no. They are pure, and you see even the rich kid and poor man's kid, and then Brahman's kid, Vaishya's kid, Sudra's kid. They don't have any distinction. They don't have any ill feelings unless somebody contaminate their heart. That's why it is said that no, there is no bad child. So there is only bad parenting. So if you don't take care of the good, what kind of habits a child is picking up and what kind of association a child is getting, it is a responsibility of the parent to give the good, to fill the child with positivity and the dharmic culture, positivity, compassion, and sensitivity to others' feelings and others' suffering. So, but if you, because we have to try our best to give positivity only, because this is the age of Kali, and this negativity and contamination or trickery, they automatically they'll be exposed outside. So Suniti gave that proper training, and Suruchi, like they both are too young to receive any kind of culture. Okay. So, but now the problem is, Suniti was the elder wife and Suruchi was the younger wife. See, when a person marries a second wife, means he doesn't have much attraction towards his first wife. So, so that is the understanding. So that's why if you see any past, I mean, even in the case of Ramayana also, Dashrath Maharaj was very much attracted to Kaikeyi because Kaikeyi was the youngest wife and more beautiful, very beautiful. So in the same way here, Uttanapad also, he was very much attached to Suruchi. And Suruchi is like very dominating queen. And Suniti didn't care all these external things. And she was very much satisfied with whatever she's getting. And she was okay. But when what happened, one time Uttanapad Maharaj was sitting in the assembly. uh, and then when he was sitting in the assembly, his son, Uttama, was sitting on his lap. And Dhruva Maharaj enters into the assembly. And at that point, Suruchi was also there. So, and Suruchi was also there in the assembly. So when Dhruva Maharaj, he saw his brother on the lap of his father, he also uh, wanted to get onto the lap of another lap of his father, because the child, right? Like one child does something, other child also likes to do the same thing. So, and this Suruchi was so much, like on the platform of ego. She was thinking that, like, see, the ego is of different kinds. First of all, personal ego, how beautiful I am, how intelligent I am, how much I am glorified. That is the personal ego. The extension of ego is glorification of somebody attached to them. Like parents were very much satisfied when their child was uh, nicely glorified or seen in a higher position or doing well. So it's natural thing. It's not a bad thing. Okay. Even Krishna also had the same feeling. That's why Krishna wants to glorify his devotees more than him. Hmm? So it's a natural thing. So, but the problem here is my child getting glorification is one thing, but the problem is the real problem lies in that only my child should be glorified and nobody should be better than him. Nobody should be equal to him. So then only my ego will satisfy. The Suruchi was on that level, and when Dhruva Maharaj was trying to get onto the lap of his father, uh, immediately Suruchi becomes so angry and says, "You born, no, uh, you, oh child, you took birth from another lady, the womb of another lady. So you don't have qualification to sit on the throne along with my son." If you know, like I read this past time in another book, also another another scripture. What it said is, if you wish to know, like if you want, like no, you don't have, because you take birth from another lady's womb, you don't have qualification to sit along with my son. So if you wish to sit on the throne of your father, you need to give up this life and take birth in my womb again and then come as my son. Then only you'll be able to sit on the lap of your father. So, but Uttanapada was very much equally affectionate to both Dhruva and Uttama. Hmm? But because of fear of uh, disappointing or no, or saying against Suruchi, or no, because he was very much attached to Suruchi, right? Because he was because of fear of losing the favor of disappointing Suruchi, he kept quiet. So when Suruchi was talking very harshly towards Dhruva, the 5-year-old boy, small child, in the assembly, and Dhruva didn't understand why my stepmother is speaking like that. Because the child of that age, they think that stepmother and mother, they seem like they see everybody in the equal level. They see everyone as their mother only. Mm. So when Suruchi was speaking like that, Dhruva looked at his father for consolation, for expecting some consolation. But father, out of his affection for his younger wife, he didn't say anything. He just kept quiet. And this behavior of his father and this harsh dealing of his stepmother actually aggrieved Dhruva's feelings. You know, like he got very much hurt because he was a child and he was expecting love and affection from his father and mothers. Hmm? But when this situation came, like Dhruva immediately he remembered his mother, and Suruchi was not there at that point of time. He ran to his mother and he was crying and sobbing very intensely. And when when Suniti saw Dhruva in that situation, she was thinking like maybe Dhruva might have fell somewhere or somebody might have spoke harshly, or something might have happened. But when she heard everything from the maid servants that what has happened in the palace in the assembly, then Suniti also felt a lot of pain because she has been going through the discrimination and then this aggressive mentality of Suruchi. They see some people when they achieve something, they wanted to humiliate others and they derive more pleasure mm, by portraying themselves the greater and the superior than their predecessors. So Suniti was also encountering all these kind of experiences till now. But when it came to her child, like it was intolerable for her, because uh, Suniti was matured lady, and she know how to handle everything, how to what to care and what not to, like what should not be cared. Okay, means like what is important, what is unimportant. But the child, which who only expects only love and affection from his elders, was offended by Suruchi, and that too for his legitimate reason of expecting affection from his father. So at that point of time, the advice Suniti gave to her to Dhruva is so very important and very valuable also. So what does Suniti say? First of all, Suniti says, do not wish ill fortune for others. See, like don't think anything negative about your stepmother. Hmm? Because whatever happens in our life, one should think that it is happening due to because of my bad karma. That's why you should never point out any suffering, any situation that is brought into your life because of somebody else, because of him or her, because everything they might be the instruments of our karma. Now, Prabhupada, right now, some disciples went to complain Prabhupada about some devotees dealing, not so well, and they become hurt, and they took the matter to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada said, don't be judgmental, don't develop negativity towards the instrument of your own karma. Hmm? Prabhupada also went through a lot of difficulties, like especially in constructing Juhu temple, or even when he goes to some countries, he was seen as like some dangerous person. Hmm? So Prabhupada also went through a lot of difficulties, like when he was in India trying to establish ISKCON, Krishna conscious movement. Huh? So, but he took all of them in a positive sense. He took as it is Krishna's will. It is no, like when some see with respect to devotees, anything positive happens in their life, they think that it is only by the Krishna's causeless mercy. I am not qualified to have this position or this honor or this glorification. It is only by Krishna's kindness and mercy that I am getting all these positive things in my life. Some promotion, something good happening in the family. But something bad happens with them. They will not say, "Oh, it is Krishna only doing bad things to me." No, they blame their karma. So I might have done very bad things in my previous life. What is that first name? Um, yeah, Brahmaji says, I'm not able to recall suddenly. So he says, right, a devotee who takes the sufferings as as a who takes sufferings in the right sense, uh, makes more spiritual, greater spiritual progress. If some suffering comes, some situation comes into our life, what we should think is, it is the karmic reaction due to my past karma. I deserve much worse actually, but due to my due to the mercy of the Lord has minimized it to so little that I'm only getting a token of suffering that I deserve. Suffering or insult or neglect and all those things. So, and first of all, Suniti tries to pacify Dhruva and to maintain, motivate Dhruva in a positive sense. And first of all, she didn't actually uh, plant any negative feelings or negative emotions to others, especially Suniti, who offended Dhruva Maharaj. And what she said is, whatever Suruchi said is true, because now Suruchi is very dear wife to Uttanapad. And he says, execute her instructions. Like what he said, you have to first, actually, Suruchi, what he says is, you in order to take birth in my womb, you have to do tapasya. You have to go and pray Lord Hari, do tapasya to Lord, and then with the blessings of Lord Hari, you will be able to take birth in my womb. Then you will be able to get onto the throne. And Suruchi said like that. But what Suruchi said is, yes, whatever she said is true. And for you to fulfill your desires, because Uttanapada, Uttanapada was the ruler of entire kingdom, and there is nobody higher authority than Uttanapada to help Dhruva. So now Suniti directs, okay, now only person who can actually mitigate your uh, distress or suffering is Lord Hari itself. And because I cannot do as a queen, and your father is the king of entire planet, there is no higher authority in the planet above him. So he cannot, if he is not able to help you, then only person who can help you is Lord Hari. So you go and worship him. Like if you want kingdom, like your forefathers, your grandfather Manu and your great grandfather Brahma, they actually got the kingdom from with the blessings of the Supreme Lord Hari. So you go and take shelter of Hari and get your desires fulfilled from Hari. And so for that, when Dhruva asks, oh, how can I approach Lord Hari? How to do? Then how to do tapasya to please Lord Hari, Lord Krishna? Then Suniti says, yes, as per my knowledge, many devotees, they go to forest and then do meditate on Lord Hari. And then get with the mercy of Lord, then you will be able to get your desires fulfilled. So, and Dhruva takes the instructions of his mother to the heart, because Dhruva was a Kshatriya spirited boy. He will not be able to tolerate any insults or anything like that. But see, like in general dealings, one should not be very uh, very particular about how they were treated. But with respect to Lord, when it comes to approaching Lord, see, the most important aspect that we have to take from here is, you go to Krishna for everything. You wanted to get desire fulfilled, you go to Krishna. You wanted to get you got insult from somebody, go to Krishna. So for everything you go to Krishna, and Krishna knows how to deal it properly. Just the way Suniti is directing, first of all, making him, training him in such a way that he will not develop any negative attitude towards Suruchi first, and then she was training him to approach Lord for anything and everything. So then what happens? Then Dhruva takes these instructions very seriously, and he goes to forest, walks away from the palace and without notice of anyone, and goes to forest. So when Dhruva was on his way to forest to meditate on Lord, he was encountered by Narada Muni. Narada Muni meets him on his way, and he will train. He inquires about basically Narada Muni knows everything, because how Narada Muni comes is when our intention, when we are sincere in our aspirations, then by the mercy of Lord we get a guru, and by mercy of guru we get Krishna. So in the same way, Narada Muni was sent by Lord personally to instruct Dhruva Maharaj. So first of all, when Narada Muni comes, first Narada Muni, what does he do? He tests Dhruva Maharaj. He wanted to see how determined Dhruva Maharaj is. He says Narada Muni was, after hearing entire incidents and how Dhruva Maharaj was ill-treated, and how what his mother said, and how he left the palace to achieve the mercy or the blessings from the Lord, or benedictions from the Lord. And Narada Muni tells him, no, you are a 5-year-old boy. You should not take all these things so seriously. See, in life it is very common, insults, glorification, difficulties, and luxuries, or treating well, treating bad. These things are different aspects of life. You should take in a positive sense. You should actually maintain patience, and you should actually endure them, and like no, just like the way Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya Shitoshnastu Kadukada. Like that, he tries to train Dhruva Maharaj. And in what do you say? Dissatisfaction is due to karma. Don't be affected by honor and dishonor. And then dissatisfaction is due to karma. So an intelligent person is always satisfied. The satisfaction of an intelligent person doesn't depend on externals. He is always already fully satisfied. It can be applicable to Suniti here. Okay. And it is very and when it comes to, but you are aspiring to take blessing from Lord Hari, take darshan and take no, for that you have to get the do tapasya, and Lord has to be pleased with you, and then he will appear in front of you. For him to appear, it is very, very difficult. Many sages have been doing severe tapasya for thousands of lifetimes, but still nobody was able to, very few are able to get the darshan of the Lord. So they said it is very difficult to satisfy Lord. Okay. Even many mystic yogis fail to do so. Therefore, you should give up your endeavor and then go back. So after you go back, with the time, everything will be normal. With the time, like just the way children will fight for some time, and then like after some time they will again become friends. Like that, Narada Muni tries to counsel Dhruva Maharaj. So when Dhruva Maharaj hears them all hear the instructions of Narada Muni, and he says, uh, "Please forgive me, uh, uh, please forgive me, uh, but please forgive me, Narada Muni." Means I don't know how to, like guru or no, you may say like that. Okay, please forgive me. I will not be. I cannot take your instructions. Hmm? So he says, I cannot accept your good advice, whatever you have explained, because advice and honest paths. But if you can, because I'm a Kshatriya, I cannot tolerate this pain of insult. Hmm? And so, if you can please advise me how to execute the process of devotional service, so that I can attain the mercy of the Lord, that will be very beneficial. So then Narada Muni becomes very much pleased with the desire of Dhruva Maharaj, because Dhruva Maharaj was trying to become closer to God. So we may approach closer to God with material desire or without material desire, with contamination, with pure heart, or with whatever situation we may be. Just to come to Krishna, just come to spiritual master, and gradually everything will be rectified. So Narada Muni becomes very pleased with the determination of Dhruva Maharaj, and Narada Muni instructs the process of devotional service. How to where to go. He says go to Madhuvan. Madhuvan is Vrindavan. Okay, and then practice Ashtanga Yoga, because this is Satya Yoga, right? In that Ashtanga Yoga, they are able to do this all the process of pranayama. Ashtanga means yama, niyama, asana. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi, that like Ashtangas are there, right? Pranayama, Pratyahara, all those things. He actually trains Dhruva Maharaj. He actually gives the knowledge of this sadhana bhakti through the Ashtanga Yoga also. And then he describes elaborately about the form of Lord. He described like how beautiful Lord is, how does his feet look like, how does his face looks like, how does his no, then what kind of jewelry Lord wears, and everything he describes elaborately. That's why when we see some people say you are worshipping these idols, uh, and like these are imaginary. Why you are worshipping all these things? They are not imaginary. They are authorized they are coming from authorized scriptures by authorized personalities who have seen the Lord personally. So Narada Muni instructs, okay, you make a deity form of Lord like this. And he gives a mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And then instruct Dhruva Maharaj to perform this devotional service with regulations and everything. So taking the instructions of Narada Muni, and then like now and Narada Muni also says about the what is the results of meditation. The results of meditation on mantra meditation frees from one from contamination and enriched the honest the highest bliss. Okay, and mantra japa and worship. Not only like the yama process. Yama includes um yeah, sorry, the Ashtanga Yoga process includes Yama Niyama, right? Yama is keeping away all the abominable habits, and Niyama means what are the do's and don'ts. Okay, Yama is don'ts, and Niyama means what are the do's, and Pratyahara means how to refrain from the sense objects, and Pranayama and how to control the senses. Pratyahara means withdrawing the senses from the sense objects, and Pranayama means how to control the senses. So as long as senses and sense objects are in contact, the sense gratification will go on. But if you want to control the senses, first of all, you have to retrieve the senses from the sense gratification, from the objects of sense gratification. And then, for example, you should like now, if you want to focus, you have to withdraw your senses from the external. You should not watch movies or all those things. And then you withdraw the senses, and then control your senses. And but these senses are by nature they are fickle. They are by nature they are agitated. So you how to pacify, how to control, bring the senses under control. For that we have to do pranayama. So these four yoga ruda stage, yoga ruda, yoga ruduksha stages are there. So perform all those things. Then perform mantra japa, meditate on the Lord, dhyana, dharana, samadhi. So Dhruva Mahārāja actually follows the Ashtanga Yoga process along with mantra meditation. So that because he's in Satya Yuga and his heart is very pure and he's still 5 years old, and he goes to Madhuvan, follow the instructions of Narada Muni as he instructed, and he makes a place for his meditation, and then he creates a deity form of the Lord as instructed by Narada Muni, and he regularly takes bath 3 times a day, and then uh, uh, he starts his sadhana very early in the morning and goes, very severe austerities he performs. Okay, and he actually for the first month he was only eating kapita fruits once in 3 days, and then after in the second month he was eating only dry grass and leaves once in 6 days, and the third month he was just taking water once in 9 days, and the fourth month he was just taking air once in 12 days. So, and the fifth and sixth months, he started by fifth month, Dhruva controlled his breath, his mind, and stood motionless on one foot like a pillar and meditated on the Lord's form without any diversion. So, within 4 months, he was able to see Paramatma within his heart. With the severe austerities, Dhruva was able to see Paramatma within the heart of within his heart, and he was constantly meditating on the Lord without motion. So what happened when due to Dhruva's meditation is the 3 worlds trembled when Dhruva Maharaj thus captured the Lord and the refuge of the total material creation, and then master of all the living entities. The 3 worlds began to tremble because, see, like a Paramatma within our heart is also the Supreme Lord, and the same Supreme Lord is within us. So it's not like, okay, and Paramatma within our heart is different from the Paramatma in the other person's heart, or Paramatma in the heart of a dog or a hog. Paramatma in the heart of every living entity is similarly divine. That's why in our Vedic culture, we don't touch, we don't insult, we don't act carelessly, even to the insect also, because Paramatma is present within the heart of even the insect also. So everybody should be treated respectfully. Respect in the sense like, okay, respecting tiger means maintaining proper distance and giving its own space. And respecting elder is different. Respecting a human, other human is different. So one should know how to respect each and every person's position and identity and then situation. And then one should be able to see, like when we meet some person, we give namaskara. Namaskara means we are actually offering obeisances to the super soul within your heart. Namaha means not mine, it's all yours, like that. So, and when Dhruva Maharaj was able to get the darshan of the Lord within his heart, and was able to completely focus on Lord, and because Dhruva Maharaj stopped breathing, right? And when Dhruva Maharaj stopped breathing, because he was connected to Lord, he was in unison with every living entity in the entire creation. Because Dhruva Maharaj was not breathing, and the universe stopped breathing, and everybody started becoming suffocated. And because Dhruva Maharaj was suffocated, and Dhruva Maharaj kept himself steadily standing on one leg, and the pressure of his one leg, the pressure of his big toe pushed down half the earth. Yes, because he was he was in unison, he was in yoga, in yoga process, in bhakti yoga process, he was united with the Lord because of the weightage, because of the weight of the Lord. And the Dhruva Maharaj, due to his thumb was able to push down the earth, and everybody in the world was started suffocating. Like one may say, how could like a Dhruva Maharaj become so heavy and push down the earth and suffocate the universal inhabitants? Is, although hundreds of people sitting in the aeroplane remain individual units, they are all share the total force of the aeroplane. Similarly, Dhruva, because of his concentration of the Lord, becomes almost the total heaviness and could push down the earth. Moreover, such spiritual power is unit body become the total body of the universe. Thus, when he closed the holes of his unit body to firmly concentrate his mind on the Lord, all the units of the universe, the living entities, including demigods, felt suffocated. So, this is like this is the process of like correlation, like how one person will affect another. So when this kind of suffocation situation is happening, the demigods went to Lord Hari and, dear Lord, we have never experienced such kind of suffocation, and we take refuge in you. And then therefore they offered prayers for protection to the Lord. So the Lord said to the demigods, don't be disturbed. It is due to the severe austerities of Dhruva, who is now fully absorbed in the thoughts of me. I shall stop him, and thereby all of you will be saved. And then he says to the demigods, don't worry, this is not due to some any kind of some asuras or devatas or natural disasters. It is due to Dhruva Maharaj performing severe austerities. I will take care of him. I will stop his austerities, and then he'll be able to become normal. So like that, Lord says, okay. So this is the pastime of Dhruva Maharaj. Like whatever he did to within 6 months, he was able to get the darshan of the Lord. Okay. So this chapter ends here. If anybody have any questions or comments, we will continue in the next chapter. Okay. Anybody have any questions or comments? I hope you're able to follow.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Very nicely summarized, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, this Adharma lineage, that part I've not understood. Like, how this all like,
Brother and sister getting married, right?
yeah, Adharma, yeah, that how it happened. So it's actually Adharma, everything is coming from the Brahma only. Right? There's
See,
Dharma and Dharma.
the adharma is absence of dharma is adharma. So basically, everything came from Lord only, and from Lord it came to Brahma. Brahmaji, it is coming to our material world. So when we don't take up dharma, it doesn't create any vacuum or voidness. It immediately adharma will fill in. That's why we we should say, no, I don't follow any spiritual practice. I don't need any dharma, or I don't need any guru. When people say like that, they automatically become to the prey to the adharma. Like somebody may say, I will stay neutral. I don't want, no, I will be secular. I don't want to follow any religion or anything like that. They automatically, without any endeavor, they automatically become, without any doing anything also, they become adharmic. So basically, in this adharmic, basically, the 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 progeny of Brahma didn't instruct them to get married. This lineage, this what do you call, adharma and falsity. But they themselves got it done. Okay, adharma, irreligion, and adharma and mrisha. So that's why if you see some religions are there whose descendants are brother and sister getting married. Like, see, if you see all the Abrahamic religions, they are coming from this lineage only. So in Islam or Christianity or all the Abrahamic religions, in the beginning of the Abrahamic religion started with the brother and sister getting married, and then the lineage started. So that is adharmic path. It's not dharmic path. Okay.
I see. So okay, so they were so they got married on their own,
Yeah,
without the consent of Brahma.
without
Okay.
the consent of Brahma.
But why they name Brahma name Adharma? So
So it
this
is
name
this,
came
like,
later
see,
on?
when a child takes birth, you name them, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, if nobody he might have seen this all this negativity, but even the demons also have the right to exist, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is a God's creation. So the extremism is not the solution. The coexistence, okay, they are adharmic people, they are dharmic people. Adharmic people should be there, but they should not be. No, that's why Krishna says, no. Uh, uh, Yuga, I'm not able to. Whenever the predominant rise of a religion,
Mm-hmm.
uh, predominant rise of religion means, okay, religion can be there, but predominant rise, it should not be dominating the religion. Like our Hindu, the dharmic culture, the Sanatana Dharma doesn't actually nullify. It doesn't say you have to totally eradicate them. They can coexist, but they should not predominate or over dominate the dharmic practices. See, even right from the age of the beginning of creation, they are Rakshasas, they are Devatas. They have the right to coexist, but not one should not come into another territory and dominate others like that. So when the adharmic practices are dominating and Vedharmic practices are uncontrollable, then Lord himself come and then re-establish dharma. You got the point, right? You got the understanding?
Yeah, I got it, Prabhu. Yeah, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Chal, Hare Krishna. Anybody have any questions? Okay, we'll end it here. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.